She cannot marry him. She is already married to his brother. I told you to stay away from my wedding.
She loves me, not you.
No, stop it. Both of you stop this.
How dare you show your face here? You are the disgrace to this family.
Please stop it, both of you.
This is the story of Blessing, a woman so clever she fooled an entire village, a woman so greedy she wanted 2 husbands, and 2 brothers so identical they didn't recognize their own wife. What happened when the truth came out? Ah, that is a story you will never forget. Grab your popcorn, because this one is wild. 3 years ago, Blessing was not from Rivertown Village. Nobody knew where she came from. She just appeared one day, stepped off the bus from who knows where. 1 bag, 1 box, and a smile that could stop traffic. She was beautiful, the kind of beautiful that makes men forget their names. Light skin, long natural hair, bright eyes, perfect teeth, curves that her simple dress could not hide. And she walked into Mama Joy's restaurant like she owned the world. "Good afternoon," she said sweetly. "I'm looking for a room to rent. Can you help me?" Her voice was soft, polite, sweet. Mama Joy, the village gossip and restaurant owner, looked her up and down suspiciously. "Where are you from?" Mama Joy asked. "Lagos," Blessing replied. "Why did you come to this small village?" Blessing smiled sadly. "I needed peace. Lagos is too busy, too stressful. I wanted somewhere quiet to heal." "Heal from what?" "A broken heart." Mama Joy's expression softened immediately. Broken heart stories always worked on Nigerian women. "Iya, sorry my dear," Mama Joy said sympathetically. "Men can be wicked, but you are in the right place. This village is peaceful, and I have a small room behind my restaurant. You can rent it." Blessing's eyes lit up with gratitude. "Thank you so much, Ma." And just like that, Blessing moved into Rivertown Village. Within 1 week, every man in the village knew her name. Within 2 weeks, half of them were in love. But Blessing was careful. She smiled at everyone, talked to everyone, but never encouraged anyone. She went to church on Sundays, helped Mama Joy in the restaurant, greeted elders respectfully, minded her business. She was the perfect village woman. Except for one thing. She was a liar. A very, very good liar. Chitty and Emeka were identical twins. 28 years old. Same height, same build, same face, same voice, same everything. The only difference? Their personalities. Chitty was serious, responsible, the firstborn by 3 minutes. He was a teacher at the village primary school. Calm, thoughtful, organized. He read books. He saved money. He planned for the future. Emeka was the opposite. Fun, spontaneous, a trader who traveled between villages buying and selling goods. He laughed loud. He spent money freely. He lived in the moment. They were close, very close. They had never fought over anything, not even women, because they had a rule. If one brother likes a woman, the other brother stays away. No exceptions. It was their sacred brotherhood code. Until Blessing arrived. It was a Sunday. After church, Chitty was buying lunch at Mama Joy's restaurant. Blessing was serving. Their eyes met. Chitty froze. Blessing smiled. "What would you like to eat?" she asked. Chitty's brain stopped working. "Aya, rice?" he stammered. "Jollof or white rice?" "Yes," he said without thinking. Blessing laughed. A musical sound. Yes is not an answer. Chitty's face burned with embarrassment. "Sorry. Jollof. Jollof rice. And chicken. Please." She wrote it down, then looked up at him through her lashes. "My name is Blessing," she said. "I'm Chitty," he managed. "Nice to meet you, Chitty." She walked away to get his food. Chitty stood there like a statue. Mama Joy appeared beside him, grinning wickedly. "Teacher, your mouth is open. Close it before a fly enters." Chitty snapped his mouth shut. But it was too late. He was already gone. From that day, Chitty came to Mama Joy's restaurant every single day. Breakfast, lunch, sometimes dinner, sometimes just to buy a bottle of water. Everyone noticed. "Teacher Chitty is in love," the village women whispered. "That Lagos girl has caught him," the men laughed. Blessing was friendly, but not too friendly. She let him look, let him hope, let him come back again and again, building anticipation, playing the game perfectly. 2 months later, Emeka returned from one of his trading trips. He came to Mama Joy's to eat, saw Blessing, and forgot he had a twin brother. "Mama Joy," he shouted cheerfully. "Who is this beautiful angel you've been hiding?" "That is Blessing," Mama Joy replied. "She's been here for 2 months. Where have you been?" "Traveling," Emeka said, never taking his eyes off Blessing. "But if I had known such beauty was here, I would have come back sooner." Blessing looked up, saw him, and almost dropped the plate she was holding, because he looked exactly like Chitty. Identical, but different energy. Louder, bolder, more confident. "Have we met before?" Blessing asked carefully. "No," Emeka said with a huge smile. "But I wish we had. I'm Emeka, and you are the most beautiful woman I've ever seen." Blessing smiled politely, but inside her mind was racing. This man looked exactly like Chitty. Same face, but completely different personality. She excused herself, went to Mama Joy privately. "That man, Emeka," Blessing whispered. "Does he have a brother?" "Yes," Mama Joy said. "Twin brother. Chitty, the teacher who eats here every day. You know him." Blessing's eyes widened. Twins. Identical twins. And an idea formed in her mind. A terrible, brilliant, greedy idea. Blessing started playing the most dangerous game a woman can play. She dated both brothers. At the same time. In the same village. Without either one knowing about the other. How? Chitty worked Monday to Friday at the school. He was in the village all week. Emeka traveled Monday to Friday for business. He was only in the village on weekends. Perfect separation. Blessing would see Chitty during the week. Monday to Friday evenings, they would take walks. Talk about life. He would read her poems. She would listen and smile. Slow, sweet, romantic. Then Friday evening, Chitty would go home early to prepare his lesson plans for the next week. He was disciplined like that. And Saturday morning, Emeka would arrive from his trip. Full of energy, full of stories. And Blessing would spend Saturday and Sunday with him, going to the market, laughing, dancing, spontaneous adventures. They were complete opposites, and Blessing loved both of them. Chitty gave her stability, intelligence, and security. Emeka gave her excitement, fun, and spontaneity. Why choose when you can have both? 6 months in, Chitty proposed. He did it the traditional way. Came to Mama Joy, since Blessing had no family in the village. Brought cola nuts. Palm wine. "Mama," he said respectfully, "I want to marry Blessing. I love her. I want to do this properly." Mama Joy was thrilled. "Teacher, finally. I was wondering when you would ask." They told Blessing. She cried tears of joy. Yes, I will marry you," she said, hugging Chitty tightly. Chitty was the happiest man alive. They set the date. Small traditional wedding. Just family and close friends. For months away. Everything was perfect. Except, Blessing didn't tell Emeka. 2 weeks before Chitty's wedding date, Emeka proposed. He did it his way. Spontaneous. Dramatic. In the middle of the market. Got down on one knee in front of everyone. "Blessing, I love you. Marry me," he shouted for everyone to hear. The whole market stopped. Clapped. Cheered. Blessing stood there. Her mind racing at top speed. She already had a wedding planned with Chitty in 2 weeks. But she loved Emeka too. And an evil thought entered her mind. What if I could marry both? She looked at Emeka. This loud, fun, spontaneous man who made her laugh. She couldn't lose him. "Yes," she said slowly. "But, can we do it quickly? Like, next week?" Emeka looked confused. "Next week? Why so fast?" Blessing lied smoothly. "My uncle is very sick. In the village back home. I need to travel next month to take care of him. I want to be married before I go. Then we marry next week," Emeka declared. "I don't need big wedding. Just me and you is enough." And he meant it. Spontaneous till the end. They planned a tiny court wedding. Just the two of them. The local government registry. 2 witnesses. That was it. No village announcement. No big ceremony. Secret and fast. They did it on Monday. Blessing became Mrs. Blessing Emeka. Legally. 5 days later, she married Chitty in a traditional ceremony. She became Mrs. Blessing Chitty. Traditionally. Same woman. 2 husbands. Both brothers. 1 village. And nobody knew. For 1 year, Blessing pulled it off. She lived with Chitty during the week in his small house near the school. Cooked his meals. Washed his clothes. Was the perfect wife. Then on Friday evenings, she would tell him her auntie in the next village was sick and needed care over the weekend. Every weekend, Chitty would ask with concern. She's very old, Blessing would say, and she has no one else. Chitty would let her go, because he was a good man, a trusting man. So every Friday evening, Blessing would pack a bag, take the bus to what she claimed was her auntie's village, which was actually Emika's house in the next part of Rivertown. The brothers lived on opposite ends of the village. They didn't see each other during the week because of work, so she could move between them without being seen. With Emika, she was a completely different wife. Spontaneous, wild, fun, dancing in the kitchen, late nights, laughter. Then Sunday evening, she'd tell Emika she needed to go back to check on her sick aunt in town. And he'd kiss her goodbye, never suspicious, because Emika trusted easily. Back and forth, week after week, month after month. One woman, two marriages, two completely different lives. It should have been impossible, but Blessing was smart. She never got the stories mixed up, never called one brother by the other's name, never slipped up. She was living a double life, and she was good at it. Until 8 months into the double marriage, Blessing discovered she was pregnant. She sat in Chitty's house, staring at the positive pregnancy test, panicking, because she had no idea whose baby it was. Chitty's, or Emika's. They were twins. The baby would look like both of them anyway. So she made a decision. She would tell both of them, at the same time, and let them both think they were the father. When she told Chitty she was pregnant, his face lit up like sunrise. Pregnant? We're having a baby, he shouted with pure joy. He lifted her, spun her around, called his mother immediately to share the news. Mama, you're going to be a grandmother, he said into the phone. His mother screamed with joy on the other end. Chitty was dancing. The serious teacher was dancing. Blessing smiled and felt sick inside. That weekend, she told Emika. When she said the words, Emika froze. Then he shouted so loud the neighbors heard. I'm going to be a father. He ran outside, told everyone on the street, random strangers. My wife is pregnant. I'm having a baby, he announced to the world. People congratulated him, clapped for him. Emika came back inside, lifted Blessing. This is the best day of my life, he said, tears of joy in his eyes. Blessing smiled, and felt even sicker inside, because now she had two men preparing for the same baby. The problem with living a double life? Eventually, you make a mistake, and Blessing made hers during the pregnancy. She was 4 months pregnant, starting to show. She was at the market with Chitty on a Wednesday afternoon, buying vegetables. Then she saw him. Emika. He had come back to the village early from his trip, walking through the same market. She froze. Both brothers in the same place. At the same time. For the first time in a year. She tried to hide behind a yam pile. But it was too late. Emika saw her. Waved excitedly. Blessing. Baby. He called out. Chitty turned, confused. Did someone just call you? He asked. No. I don't think so. Let's go, Blessing said nervously. But Emika was already walking over. Happy. Smiling. Then he saw Chitty, his twin brother, standing next to his wife. His pregnant wife. Brother, what are you doing with my wife? Emika asked, still smiling. Chitty's brain stopped working. Your wife? He said slowly. Yes. My wife. Blessing, Emika said, putting his arm around her shoulders naturally. Blessing wanted the ground to open and swallow her. Chitty looked at Emika, then at Blessing, then back at Emika. Brother, this is my wife. Blessing. We married 8 months ago, Chitty said carefully. Emika laughed. Very funny. But seriously, why are you with my... He stopped. His smile faded. He looked at Blessing. Really looked. Her face was white. Her hands were shaking. She wasn't laughing. She wasn't correcting anyone. She was just frozen. Blessing? Emika said quietly, his voice suddenly serious. Blessing. Tell him. Tell him you're my wife, Chitty said, his voice getting louder. Silence. The market was getting quieter. People were starting to notice. Starting to listen. I can explain. Blessing whispered. Explain what? Both brothers shouted at exactly the same time. And that was when the truth started spilling out. They dragged her to the village chief's compound. Both brothers. Pulling her in opposite directions. The whole village followed. This was drama. Better than Nollywood. The chief sat under the big tree. The village square filled up. Everyone came. What is this noise about? The chief demanded. This woman is my wife, Chitty said. No, she's my wife, Emeka countered. The chief looked at Blessing seriously. Woman, who is your husband? Blessing started crying. Real tears this time. Both of them, she said. The village gasped. What did you say? The chief asked, leaning forward. I married both of them, Blessing sobbed. I couldn't choose. I love them both. So I married them both. Emeka first, in court. Then Chitty in traditional ceremony. You could hear a pin drop. Then the shouting started. She married twins. One villager screamed. In the same village. Another added. And they didn't know. A third shouted in disbelief. Mama Joy's voice rose above everyone. That girl was living in my house. Under my roof. Eating my food. And she was deceiving everybody. The twins were not shouting. They were just standing there. Staring at Blessing. Betrayed. Heartbroken. Humiliated. I trusted you, Chitty said, his voice breaking. I loved you, Emeka said, his voice hollow. I love you both. Blessing cried desperately. That's why I did it. I couldn't choose between you. So you chose to lie? Chitty asked coldly. So you chose to destroy us? Emeka added. I'm pregnant. What about the baby? Blessing pleaded. Whose baby is it? Chitty asked. Mine or his? Emeka demanded. I don't know, Blessing whispered. The village exploded again. The chief raised his hand for silence. When the noise died down, he spoke. This woman has committed a grave offense. She has deceived 2 brothers, broken sacred marriage vows, twice, divided a family, and she is carrying a child that could belong to either man. Please. I made a mistake, Blessing began. The chief cut her off. A mistake is buying the wrong ingredient at market. This is wickedness. This is greed. This is the work of a woman who values herself and her desires above everyone else. He turned to the brothers. Both marriages are void. She cannot be married to 2 men. She must choose one. Or none. I choose both. I love both, Blessing said desperately. Life does not work that way, the chief said firmly. Then Chitty spoke. I don't want her. Everyone turned to look at him. He continued, his voice steady but pained. She lied to me every single day for 8 months. She looked me in my eyes and lied. She is carrying a child I thought was mine. But it might not be. And even if it is, I cannot trust her. How can I build a life with a woman I cannot trust? He walked away, through the silent crowd, his shoulders shaking. Then Emeka spoke. I don't want her either. Emeka, please. I love you. Blessing screamed. You love yourself. Only yourself, Emeka said bitterly. You wanted 2 husbands because one wasn't enough. You wanted 2 lives because one wasn't exciting enough. You wanted everything. He paused. And now you have nothing. He turned, walked away, following his brother. Blessing collapsed, crying, screaming. But nobody helped her. The village had seen enough. Blessing gave birth 6 months later. A boy, beautiful, healthy, looking exactly like both brothers. Because they were identical twins. A DNA test showed the baby was Chitty's. But it didn't matter. Chitty had moved to another state. Emeka had moved to Lagos. Both brothers left Rivertown Village. They needed space. From each other. From the memories. From the betrayal. Their brotherhood was damaged. Not destroyed. But damaged. They would heal. Eventually. But it would take time. Blessing raised the baby alone. In the next town. Mama Joy kicked her out. The village rejected her. She became a warning story. Don't be like that Lagos girl, mothers would tell their daughters. Don't be greedy, they would say. Choose one man. Love him well. That is enough. 2 years passed. The brothers slowly rebuilt their relationship. Phone calls at first. Then visits. Then finally they could laugh together again. Brother, Emeka said one evening over drinks. Do you remember when we thought we could never fight over a woman? Chitty smiled sadly. We didn't fight over her. She fought over us. They laughed. Bitter laughter. But laughter nonetheless. Will you ever marry again? Emeka asked. Chitty thought for a long moment. Maybe. One day. But this time, I'll pay attention. Really pay attention. Same, Emeka agreed. No more trusting beautiful strangers who appear from nowhere. They clinked their beer bottles. To brotherhood, Chitty said. To never, ever dating the same woman again, Emeka added. They drank. And the wound began to heal. This story is funny until you think about it. Then it becomes sad. Blessing was a smart woman. She could have had a good life. But she was greedy. She wanted everything. 2 husbands. 2 lives. 2 sources of love and support. She thought she could manage it. She thought she was clever enough. And for a while she was. But here's what she forgot. Lies have an expiration date. No matter how smart you are, no matter how careful you are, eventually the truth comes out. It always does. And when it does, you don't just lose what you lied about. You lose everything. Chitty lost his trust in people. Emeka lost his spontaneous joy. Both brothers lost a year of their lives. Their brotherhood was damaged. And Blessing? She lost both men. Her reputation. Her home. Her community. Everything. Because she tried to hold too much. Greed destroys. 1 good man is better than 2 men you're deceiving. 1 honest relationship is better than 2 secret ones. 1 small truth is better than 1,000 perfect lies. Deception is temporary. You might fool people for a day, a week, a month, even a year. But you cannot fool everyone forever. The truth is patient. It will wait. And when it comes out loudly. Respect people's choices. Blessing didn't respect these men enough to let them make informed choices. She took away their right to decide. She played God with their lives. And that is never okay. When you truly love someone, you give them the truth. Even if the truth might make them leave. Because love without honesty is not love. It's manipulation. Brotherhood and sisterhood are sacred. Those brothers had a rule. A sacred rule. They would never fight over a woman. Blessing broke that. She came between them. Not because she was worth it, but because she was selfish. If you truly love someone, you don't destroy their important relationships. You add to their life. You don't subtract from it. Enough is enough. We live in a world that tells us more is better. More money, more success, more partners, more options, more everything. But sometimes, 1 is enough. 1 good man, 1 honest job, 1 small house, 1 simple life. If it is built on truth, it is enough. Blessing had 2 men who loved her genuinely. If she had chosen 1, she would have had a beautiful life. But she wanted both, and ended up with neither. If you are watching this and you are living a double life, stop. Today, right now. It might seem like you're winning. It might seem like you're getting away with it. But you're not. You're building a house of cards. And when it falls, it will bury you. Choose truth. Choose honesty. Choose 1 path and walk it well. Because in the end, the only person you really deceive is yourself. She wanted 2 husbands. She got 2 heartbreaks. And 1 lesson she'll never forget. The end.